important, and instead just made it all about glamorizing those two people who I feel like are part of the biggest reasons that there have been so many cats inbred to create white tigers and white lions. And I didn't even know that they did cub petting at their shows in Las Vegas, but when I saw it, it was like, well, no wonder people like Bhagavan Antal and Joe Schreibvogel figured, people pay a lot of money, they go to the show, only the people that got the front row seats get to pet the cubs, so it just created a huge market for people like them to step in and start exploiting cubs for that purpose. Hello there, beautiful bobcat. Rah! Who says rah? You're looking a little pudgy there, Miss Bailey. You are. You are indeed. One of the things I was really hoping for with this DJI stabilizer is that it has all kinds of buttons on the stabilizer where you can zoom in and out. I'm zooming, it's not working. You can do like sports mode and just all kinds of cool things, but you can't do it when you're live on Facebook. You gonna show everybody how you use the ramp? Yeah? Or maybe Moses is gonna show us how he uses the ramp. Moses! Hi! What do you think of all this? Did they do a wonderful job? Yeah. The gardeners came. They gave us new grass. All those little grass clumpies. You're gonna love it. The reason the carrier's in there is because we needed to get both cats over to this side so that they could do all the work they needed to do on the other side, and Moses was not having it. Bailey shooed over, but not Moses. All he wanted to do was sit there and argue about it, so they ended up having to put him in a carrier. See, if sports mode actually worked on this, I could stay focused on you. One of the things it says it can do, I bet that's not going to work either. You draw a square around whatever you want it to follow, but it's not working. It's going to make me chase you all over, huh? Well, you didn't miss anything by not tuning into that ABC piece. It was so frustrating. And I saw a number of people. Bailey, where did you go? I saw that a number of people had the same reaction I had to it. I got an email from Edith this morning and saw a number of you had posted online about how frustrated you were that they spent, it was a 2-hour piece, and they spent all but 15 minutes of it glamorizing those two and talking about their rags to riches story and what a wonderful bond they had and all of that crap, that utter crap. And then they gave about a minute in the first hour to teasing the fact that maybe breeding white tigers was controversial. And then they gave Emily from Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge 4 minutes to rebut everything that they had said about white tigers. And she did an amazing job. Shout out to Emily. She really did an excellent job. They also had some other woman I'd never heard of before who was their other white tiger expert, and she did a good job too, talking about how they're all inbred. So 5 minutes out of the total 2 hours that they actually devoted to anything important that could change things, that could protect animals, that could save them in the wild, all of those kinds of things. It was just a totally lost opportunity by ABC. I was really angry. I wrote up 12 reasons why I hated that show. But Howie says I was a little too mean, so he wants to soften the edges before I can post it anywhere. Hopefully he'll hurry up and edit it while it's still relevant. Woo! Did you get a bad one? Is that yuck? You are probably the one who peed on it. They approached me about doing the Joe story, the murder for hire story, and I told them that whether or not I was willing to spend any time talking to them was going to hinge on what they ended up doing with the Siegfried and Roy show. And if they were, really giving at least half of the time to talking about the issues and the important things, then I'd be willing to put in the hours and hours necessary to talk to their reporters. But clearly they are absolutely clueless, and I have no intention of talking to them. In fact, Emily had indicated that they had even told her that they were going to make it a whole lot more about the issues, and so that's probably how they got her to talk about all of that. And I'm willing to bet that the majority of the things that she said probably ended up on the cutting room floor, because that didn't fit with all of the images of those two riding tigers and riding elephants and walking cats on leashes and walking them around their house like they were pets. It was like, oh, for crying out loud, if those cats were really pets, their place would look like Joe Schreibogel's place. It would be an utter dump. Tigers do not live inside. There's just so many things that they didn't talk about. They didn't talk about why they continued breeding these cats when they said they bred cats until 2015. The show ended in 2003. What were they doing with all the cats? Where were those cats going? See, I don't want to talk about tigers. I want to talk about how cute bobcats are. Talk about my cute tail. It's such a cute tail. Oh, it's the cutest tail. All right, let me see. Get off my rant here.